All right, now it's time to put it all together. We've been working up till now on our left hand technique, developing chord vocabulary and chord transitions, and then forming these chord progressions with 4 strums each. We've been working on our right hand strumming and laying down the foundation of a good, solid, steady alternate strumming motion, and then creating patterns by having dotted arrows, misses in our strums. And it's time to bring that all together to where we're doing the chord progressions with the strum patterns. And this is where it's going to really sound like the music that you hear when you hear people strumming an acoustic guitar and playing rhythm guitar. So let's do G and C for our chords. And let's do the strum pattern, the third strum pattern that we did. And we're going to put it all together. Let me show you first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had 1 bar of G and 1 bar of C. I repeated that 4 times. I took the strum pattern, that was this strum pattern. Let me just show you on the G chord. So that was the pattern. They had the dotted arrow on the end of 1 and the down strum on beat 3. So I just basically plugged that strum pattern right into the chord progression. The strum pattern is 1 bar long, and the G was 1 bar long. So I did the pattern once for the G. Then I moved to the C chord, which was for 1 bar, and I did the pattern again for the C chord. So it's a 2 bar pattern total, and the same strum pattern works for each chord. Let me do it again. I'll count aloud with it. 1, maybe a little slower. Let me demonstrate that at a slower tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2 and 3 and 4. So that's very much what a guitarist does a lot of when they're playing rhythm guitar for a lot of modern music. One thing you want to be mindful of as you take it to this level now is that we've been doing these chord transitions with just 4 down strums. Now we're doing strum patterns that have the up strum. So you've got a strum in between those down strums. You have to make that transition at the last possible moment. There's a very common habit that people do when they're kind of trying to buy themselves some time to make the transition. Watch this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 What's happening there is that on the and of 4, on that up strum, I'm actually taking my fingers off and moving. Now you want to keep that chord on the strings, or keep your fingers on the strings until it's time to change that chord. So you want it to look more like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So notice I've kept my fingers on the G till the last possible moment, then made the switch. That's why we've been working on these transitions so much, because it's crucial to keep the flow going. This hitting the open strings in between chords is not very musical at times, so you have to be very mindful of that. So let's watch that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 Okay, here's something about that transition. Even when you go slow in a song, you still want to hold that chord out for its full length of time, for the full a bar or 2 beats or however long it's supposed to last. So that, because I guess I'm making a point that if you go slow, it doesn't mean you really have more time to make the shift between chords. All it means is that it doesn't seem as frantic as when you're playing. So that was a pretty quick tempo, right? Well, watch it if I do it slow again. My fingers are moving almost as fast. It's a very quick movement and very precise. But that's why you've been doing all this other work. You've been leading up to this moment where your fingers know where to go. Fingers are landing simultaneously, and you're in control of your technique. So we're going to take a look at some more chord progressions and combining them with strum patterns so you can get more experience taking this to this level now where you've got it all happening together.